news update on Today Ghana News TV. We are live on the satellite via Twitch for our viewers in Eastern European countries and also on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Today Ghana News TV. We are also on anchor.fm/podcast at Today Ghana News TV. Now the headlines. Fuel prices to go down by 15 pesos per litre effective April 1, 2022. Ken Ofori-Atta. Approval of Elevy. We have these and other stories coming your way. My name is Edna Segbornya. To our first story, fuel prices in Ghana will go down by 15 pesos per litre effective April 1, 2022. This reduction will be in place for 3 months. This was disclosed by the Minister of Finance on Thursday, March 24, 2022, while announcing austerity measures put in place by the government to cushion Ghanaians against current economic shocks. To migrate the rising price of petroleum products at pumps for the next 3 months, the government has decided to reduce margins in the petroleum price build-up by a total of 15 pesos per litre with effect from 1st of April, he said.
Expenditures alone will not be enough. Our focus is therefore twofold: to control expenditure and to raise more revenue domestically. As such, we will therefore begin the implementation and collection of the revised property rate by end of April 2022. We will implement the e-VAT, e-commerce, and e-gaming initiatives by end of April 2022. We will roll out a simplified tax filing mobile application for all eligible taxpayers by July 2022. We will impress upon Parliament to fast-track the passage of the e-levy bill, tax exemptions bill, and
Joining us online is Mr. Charles McCarthy, editor of the Hawk newspaper. Welcome to News Update on Today Ghana News TV, sir.
Yeah, hello, good evening, Edna.
Good evening. You are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
The finance minister announced austerity measures to save Ghana's ailing economy. How did we come to this point?
Let me thank you and thank your cherished viewers, and say I'm glad that I'm here again this evening. But it is unfortunate that our finance minister, Kenneth Kuntunkuruku Furiata, failed to address the basic issues that brought us to where we are now. We didn't just start facing economic challenges. Something brought us from where we were to this point. So we're expecting that even if he was using a root cause analysis, he would have found out what are the causes, what are the reasons, the challenges, then you find solutions to them. Rather, he came to tell us that he was going to do, is it a 10% cut on discretionary spending? The catchphrase is, or the catchword is discretionary. And if I have discretion to spend, and you are telling me that you will cut 10% of it, what it means is that I have to include 20% to what I decided to spend. So that when you cut your 10%, I still will not be affected. Is that not it?
Mm-hmm.
You get the point. So the measures they have introduced are nothing. They're just cosmetic, like somebody will say. This is just to hoodwink us, for us to believe that government is doing something in the meantime. Because we are told that the challenges we are facing in this country is as a result of COVID-19. And then secondly, what do you call it? Russia invading Ukraine, isn't it?
Yeah.
The question we need to ask ourselves is, how does this austerity measures affect the COVID that has ravaged the whole world? How does this 10% cut, elimination of ghost names and what have you, got to deal with the problem Russia have with Ukraine? It virtually has nothing to do with Ukraine. This has nothing to do with COVID-19, telling us that there are ghost names 6 years into your rule as a government. You are not telling us that you are not taking measures to eliminate or delete ghost names. This alone is an indictment on the performance of our finance minister and whoever is around him, telling us that you are now going to put a moratorium on imported vehicles. Is an indictment on the government, because in 2017, President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo told us that no minister, no state agency shall buy or will buy a new car. True or false? When was that ban lifted? As I know here, sitting here as a news editor, I don't know. I don't remember the last time the president lifted that ban placed on importing vehicles. But then we are seeing brand new vehicles as new as 2022. They are still buying new vehicles. This time they are buying expensive vehicles. The NEC, they were using Toyota Land Cruisers. This regime have decided to move a notch higher to what they call Lexus. According to the people who like vehicles or cars, they tell us that Lexus is expensive than the normal Toyota Land Cruiser. This is a government that says that I will protect the public purse. The public purse was not protected by Akufo-Addo. Look, you have agencies of state that pay their CEOs to the tune of 70,000 Ghana cedis a month, 100,000 Ghana cedis a month. These people are given free accommodation. They are giving free vehicles, free fuel, almost everything free. And you say we should continue to fund them. They're saying, no, let's cut it. Deputy ministers, people you are paying 20,000 a month, people who are taking 10% of every contract they sign and more, you don't need to buy cars for them. Even if you have to give them official cars at all, not cars as expensive as V8 that will cost us $150,000, $100,000 to buy. We can buy smaller cars, the Picantos and what have you. I know where you are, the world where you find yourself. Ministers of state don't drive in luxurious cars. True or false? We are told some of them even queue to join trains. Some of them ride bicycles to work. Here, our ministers don't just drive cars. They drive the top, most expensive cars in town amidst siren. They are even moving with siren. This is what is happening. The profligacy is what is killing us. That is the problem. So, yes, the austere measures have been named, they have been announced, but I tell you from where I sit, from where I stand, it will not have any impact on the economy of this country, because a cedi to dollar, $1 is now getting about 7 cedis plus. These things will have nothing to do with the dollar hike. No, the petroleum increment in the country, these things have nothing to do with them. If you are reducing a liter of petrol by 15 pesos, and I'm buying it at a gallon of 48, almost 50 Ghana, when the previous administration, they were selling it at 14 cedis a gallon. You told us, no, that was expensive. They were insensitive, and that there was money in this country. We are sitting on wealth, but we are hungry. That was what Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his henchmen told the people of Ghana. Then down the lane, 6 years into your reign, we are now buying a gallon of petrol at almost 50 Ghana cedis. You are a killer. You must be a murderer. Because if the other person was insensitive for selling fuel at 14 Ghana cedis, and now you are selling it at 48, then of course you are a murderer. That is what you are. So Akufo-Addo is killing us with these so-called austerity measures. Like I said, they are just charade. They are throwing dust into our eyes. Nothing will happen because they are still driving in their Land Cruisers. They are supposed to pack those Land Cruisers, if possible, auction them so we can generate money to salvage this country. I don't see why people who told us that, look, they are self-made, they have what it takes to govern this country. You come and you want to depend on this country. You don't depend on the country. Like, is it Abraham Lincoln? No, yeah, it was Abraham. He said that do not think about what your country will do for you, rather, what you do for your country. These men and women working about with political portfolios, they are not thinking about what they will do for their country, Ghana, but what
Okay.
Ghana will do for them.
Okay. So to you, the austerity measures put in place will not work if they don't sell their vehicles, right?
You know, I have given you several reasons. I am telling you that, look, these vehicles are high consuming vehicles. We
Okay.
need to cut our ministers, the number of ministers down because we are spending too much on them. Do you get it? These people take huge sums of money as salary, clothing allowances, entertainment allowance. They have security. They travel abroad for healthcare. Tell me, my dear sister Edina, why must we have a minister of health who will want to travel to Dubai to go and seek healthcare? Why must we have a minister of education who will want to travel abroad for education? Why won't you put your energy into what we have here and do it well? Look, our finance minister, until he was hit by COVID and traveled to the US and came back and confessed that if he hadn't traveled to the United States for healthcare, he wouldn't have known the essence of health facilities.
Okay.
Look at it.
So right now, what do you rather expect the government to do to save the economy?
Very good. Fine question. Let's scrap Article 71 office holders. Eh? Those we pay 70,000, 150,000 a month and giving them every other thing. Let's scrap that quote unquote nonsense. Let's cut it off. That when we are paying you 20,000, you should be able to rent your own house and pay for the rent, pay for the light bill. So government wouldn't be paying that. Let's cut the number of our ministers from the present 125 and more to at least a country like Ghana, 30 million, 30 million. If you have 15 ministers, that would not be, that would be okay for us. 15 ministers will be enough for a country like Ghana. Let's collapse some of the agencies. Look, we have Maslock, we have National Youth Employment, we have National Entrepreneurship, all those things. We have, what do you call it? National Youth Authority. Eh? Let's put all these things together. If we do so, we are saving money, good money. Look, how must we have three ministers for transport? Minister of Aviation. Aviation is transportation. Minister of Railways. It is transportation. Then we have Minister of Transport. This is three. Creating job for the boys. Let's collapse this, make it one. Do you get it? So we'll save money. If you go to the Ministry of Information, the Ministry of Communication, or aren't we communicating? Are we not communicating? Are we not sending informations? Let's put the two together, make it one. By so doing, we will save people. The number of people we have employed under these imitating ministries is what is placing us where we are. Let's go to Jubilee House, the seat of government. How many people are working there? The staffers at Jubilee House is over 2,000.
Okay.
What are they doing? What are they doing there? That we are paying all of these people, including S gratia. Let's scrap that nonsense called S gratia. You won't come and work for us to pay you monthly, give you all you need. Then when you have retired, we are giving you S gratia, which is greater, fattier than your salary.
Okay. Let me just move you from there. Right now, it seems the Elevy is the game changer because he was very particular about that. What do you think?
E-levy can't be a game changer. Anybody who want to believe that, who will accept the claim that e-levy is a game changer, maybe naive, excuse my word. But the reality is that this government has borrowed more than necessary. This government has made money more than the 6.7, let me say 7 billion they are looking for annually. According to their own data they provided, the e-levy is going to give us some 6.8 million a year. Do you get it? But I know, and you know, that this government has borrowed in excess of over $340 billion. True or false? What have they used that money to do? Now, if you are even borrowed, let me reduce the money for the purpose of this argument. Let me reduce it to 200 billion. If you had borrowed 200 billion in 6 years and you have not been able to show, to do anything, you have not been able to protect the people of this country, you telling me that, look, give me 7 billion and I will change everything for you. Who will buy this message? No, does this convince you? It does not, because you have gotten more. You have gotten more than enough. You've gotten more than Sino Hydro bond and this one. But look, we have collateralized Get Fund, collateralized almost every funding that we have in this country. ESLA has been depleted. Eh? The energy bond spent, road fund squandered. A country that is looking for money will tell us that, oh, don't pay road tolls. You say I shouldn't pay road tolls. Meanwhile, you need money. Is that how we generate money? Is that how we look for money? So e-levy is not a panacea to our problems, but the reckless spending, the recklessness of Ken Ofurata and his henchmen is what is killing us. Let me tell you, we are talking about we didn't have money. That was what they told us. But then government was spending, jumping from one region to another, telling the people why we need e-levy. Why e-levy? 6 billion a year. You think that can solve our problem? That can take care of our roads? I just came from the Volta region 2 days ago, from Accra to Negri. I got in Mokpetoi here. From here to Ho is bad. The road is not a more travel road. From Ho to Mokpetoi is worse. And we are talking about a little over 100 kilometers away. What are we doing with the money? Nothing to show. That is a problem. As in this country, you hear road accident every day. It is not anything just because the roads are bad.
Okay.
We do not have a single dual carriage road in this country. This Ghana we are living in, not a single dual carriage road from here to Takrady, from here to Kumasi, from here to Ho, here to Azim, here to Wa, here to Bolga, here to nothing. Bad roads all around. Hunger
Okay,
killing us.
Mr.
Then you are
Charles.
telling me that what will e-levy do? No, you see, before I let you go, or before you let me go,
No, you are not going now. You are not going
very good.
now.
So
I
let
want
me,
to ask you that with everything that you have said now, do you
yeah.
think Ghana can bounce back to a good economy with current economy management?
Uh, you see, the current economic management team have demonstrated beyond human thinking that they are bereft with ideas, they are barefooted, that they are visionless, and do not know what they are doing. Do you get it? That is, if you ask me, that is my opinion on the current state of the people managing our economy. My sister, I like your name. The Edna is a name that tastes good to my ear. Eh?
Thank you.
Let me tell you something. Has our ministers or those managing the economy been able to tell you and I that, look, these austerity measures is going to do A, B, C, D for us? Did they give us that answer? If you are solving the problem, you should be able to quantify that, look, 10% cut on discretionary spending will give us, let's say, 1 million at the end of the year. Is that not it? And that we are going to use the 1 million to do this. They should be able to tell me that, look, if we eliminate ghost names, we are suspecting that we have 10,000 ghost names, 50,000 ghost names. So when we eliminate this, we'll be able to save the government about 2 million Ghana cedis. And maybe we'll use it to do ABC, the three of us. They should be able to be telling us that, look, when we cut 30% of our salary off, we'll be able to generate this much. Then you are quantifying the policy. You are quantifying the initiative. You are telling us, you are giving us reasons to accept what you are telling us. But as we speak, there is nothing. Let me give you a critical example. During the era of John Mahama, the man the New Patriotic Party described as the most incompetent president in the history of this country, when he faced similar situation, what did he do? He told the people of Ghana that I and my ministers are going to sacrifice 10% of our salaries, three of us, and that we shall use that 10% of salary cut to build cheap compounds. At the end of the day, they were able to account over 1,600 plus cheap compounds that they've used those money to build. So we can hold them accountable. But if you come and mention austerity measures without giving us definite things that you will use it to do, how do we hold you accountable, my sister? It becomes difficult for us to hold you accountable tomorrow because we will not know what you promised that you are going to use this to do. So whether you've done it or not, we will not be able to see, we will not be able to know. So we can't question you. This is the smartest way of stealing the people. This is the smartest way of squandering money that you are taking from your colleagues. And these things shouldn't be countenanced. These things shouldn't be accepted. Why must Ken Oforiatta still hold himself as a minister, having led us to this abyss? Why?
Mr. Charles, hello.
Sister
Because
Edna.
of time, I want you to just wrap it up for me.
Look, let me make a plea. Today, Ghana news update. You people must increase your time. This one, when I have to run and come and stay home just to speak to you, and you come and I speak 5 minutes, say time, no problem. So I know your producers are listening. They must be not. You see, the problem with Ghana needs time to discuss it. Do you get it? So if you want to discuss Ghana's problem, we must have time to discuss them because we are really in a quagmire. So I will thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you too for making time to join us this evening.
You're most welcome.
So that was Mr. Charles McCarthy, editor of the Hawk newspaper. Moving on, Parliament has passed the electronic transfer levy in the absence of the minority MPs who had walked out before the bill was considered at the second reading stage. The minority had complained that it had been taken by surprise by the unexpected consideration of the levy. The e-levy was not listed in Parliament's business statements for this week. The minority MPs later walked out of Parliament before the second reading of the bill after debating it. All the proposed amendments standing in the name of some minority MPs were withdrawn because none of them was present to move those amendments in their names. The Speaker of Parliament, Agbangbagui, said he was surprised by the minority walkout, but indicated that it would not affect the course of proceedings.
I want to thank you for the opportunity and to ask President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to withdraw this punitive, regressive, insensitive tax, and that we do not support it, and you don't need any vehicle for Chop Chop to go and collect e-levy. So, Mr. Speaker, this side we don't support Elevy. We will not support Elevy. Count us out of it. They can proceed with whatever business they want to do. I thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Please wait. Put your question.
What of the right?
Put your question. Put your question. Put the question. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, put the question. My colleagues are in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues are in the chamber. I invite you to put the question now. Put the question now. They are in the chamber. Put the question now. They are in the chamber. Put the question now. Mr. Speaker, I'm inviting you. Put the question now. They are in the chamber. Out.
Am I, Honorable Majority Leader, am I to understand that you are foregoing your submission?
Yes, that's what I've done. Yes. And while they are here, put the question. Yes.
All right. Honorable members, the Majority Leader has adopted what has already been submitted, and so I proceed to put the question. Those in favor of the adoption of the report of the committee in support of the second reading of the Electronic Transaction Levy Bill 2021, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it.
And I to impose the levy to be no.
The Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has said that he has not run away from the economic management of the nation, as his detractors want people to believe. He explained that the president has personally tasked him to digitalize the economic situation in the country, and that is what he's perfectly doing.
Years after independence, and that transformation wasn't coming. And so, coming into government and heading the economic management team, the president gave me that mandate and gave me that opportunity to focus on how best we can transform and modernize Ghana to make sure that some of the challenges, some of the risks that, people who just want to operate in our economy are facing. So how we mitigate those risks, how we make this economy an efficient economy. And this is why I have focused on digitalization. Sometimes people say, well, we thought you were an economist, but you are doing so much in IT space. Have you left economics behind? No, not at all. In fact, it's because of the economy that I'm focusing on the digitization. Because without building those pillars, our economy will just not be able to stand on its own feet. We need to build those pillars to allow all our sectors in the economy to be able to compete. And so we decided to address some of the major bottlenecks that businesses face, you in the agri sector face, through digitalization. First of all, whatever problems that exist and make this economy inefficient affects everybody. Whether you are in agri or industry or services, you will face those problems. If you don't know who you are dealing with, if identity, just establishing your identity is a problem, and you go to Dr. Kofi Mensah at Agri Development Bank, and you say to Dr. Kofi Mensah, I want to borrow money for my business. Now, They need to establish your identity, first of all. And if that is not clear, if there is any doubt about what your identity is, there may even doubts about your age and all of that, you are not likely to get that loan if you don't have a track record that goes with your identity. You have a problem. And we had a situation in Ghana where for 60 years, we have a 30 million population, but we don't have unique identity numbers. And this
Okay. Professor Bafo Ajimandria has shown his support for former President John Mahama. Okay. Professor Bafo Ajimandria has shown his support for former President John Mahama's call for review of the judiciary. The former UN advisor and a leading member of the NPP was speaking in an interview to journalists in Accra.
Former President's comment is point on in the sense that it relates to this general demand for constitutional review. You cannot touch the judiciary without touching the Constitution. So if you are not satisfied with the judiciary, then it means that you have to find a way to revise the Constitution. And it's not only the judiciary, the whole structure of governance, executive, the legislature. Look at what's going on there. All these are issues that we need to address. And that's why when people dismiss the idea of constitutional reform, it hurts me. I feel bad about that. Because we all know that certain things are not going right in the country. And you trace these issues all the way to the Constitution. And yet, politicians don't want to touch the Constitution. When they are not in office, they see the need for reforms and reviews. When they are in power, they find it useful. Okay? So that kind of contradiction in itself is not what we need to tolerate. I think what President Mahama is calling for is a serious reform of the Constitution, so we can look at the judiciary, we can look at the executive, we can look at the legislature, then we can look at the power relations between the governed and the governors.
Okay. President Akufo-Addo has congratulated the senior national male soccer team, the Black Stars, on their qualification to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The team qualified on away goal rule after drawing with their West African neighbor, Nigeria, in a keenly contested qualifiers on Tuesday in Abuja.
Welcome to Jubilee House, which is the seat of the presidency of our country. I think everything that needs to be said has been said, but I just want to add my personal word of gratitude to you for putting the icing on the cake on my birthday yesterday. The way these things happen. Today I had to give a statement to the Parliament on the state of the nation. And it meant that yesterday, when you were playing, I was in a meeting with those who helped me put these things together. So sad as it is to say, I didn't actually watch the match. But what I heard were the reactions of people in my office as you were playing and they were watching. And when you score the first goal, there's an Arsenal contingent in my... Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. Chris Heaton and I, we belong to the other side in North London. Yeah. They came rushing in that you've won the game for us.
Okay, so that is it for tonight. But before I go, I will read some of our Facebook messages. From Sue's Local Bev, McCarthy, you are always on point. Thank you. From NBC Diaspora Union, watching you from Amsterdam. I like your way of presenting the news. Thank you. From VIS Ghana, greetings, watching you from Edukrum. Good to see Charles McCarthy on this station. I used to hear him on radio. Good job today, Ghana News TV. Thank you. From Odoitama, good citizens, let's support the e-levy. Never listen to NDC's lies. Aiko Ghana Black Stars. From Enoch Ofosumensa, critical analysis and clarity on the news. Keep the good work up. Thank you. From Patience Darko, I like your dress, Edna. Greetings to you and the guests. Keep on rising. Thank you. From Enoch again, watching you from Tama Committee 4. Your news is always on point. Thank you. From Citizen Wise, watching you live from the United States of Amsterdam. Amasaman constituency. Love your outfit today, Pa. Thank you. Okay, so that is it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our social media platform. That is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch at Today Ghana News TV. My name is Edna Segbornya.